so in a good place. I'm able to give. When you have something, when you're set, when you're full, when you're fucking full, you don't need to eat anymore. You're passing shit on.
Leave me here forever. Don't let me be alone.
As I was saying, so yeah, my name's Azren. So I started learning Spanish about 8 or 9 years ago. I was in high school. It actually started because what happened was that I was in grade 10, so I would have been a freshman in high school, and it was funny because I wanted to take a Spanish class then. However, I was traveling to France that year, and I was doing a semester, well, a little bit less than a semester abroad, and the Spanish that was offered in France was way above where I was at, so I was basically at a 0 level. So when I was in France, I started to teach myself and started doing this like a self-study with websites and everything. And at this time, there weren't as many resources for languages because it was 2007 maybe, so there wasn't as much as there's like today. So like obviously there's a lot of stuff, but not as much as today. But you know, did my best, came back, went into the next level of Spanish. So I challenged the first level class, apparently did okay, went to the second level, did that in school, went to college, and then I majored in Spanish and French. And then when I was in college, I used to like do part-time tutoring for French or Spanish or whatever whenever someone asked me. It's kind of like if people asked me, I would do it. And then when I graduated, when I finished, I ran a window cleaning business for a while. So something completely out of languages. Started studying Mandarin. So I was roughly little over 3 years ago. And then probably in like last year, so in September of last year, I decided, I don't want to run the window cleaning business anymore. And traveled for about 3-4 months, and then started to teach full-time. So that's kind of that's my gig, full-time, teaching English, French, Spanish, and then I've just started to do basic Mandarin, but I either do it for free or charge very, very little because, number one, I'm not an expert in Mandarin, number two, I don't have like any experience teaching in Mandarin. I only do it so I can start to get more experience now to teach, and it helps me learn, because students are like, how do I say this? And I'll be like, I have no idea. Let me go learn. Let me go figure it out. So it's like, it forces me to go learn, so it's a way for me to keep learning. So, but French and Spanish, yeah, those are two that I basically speak them like I speak English for the most part. And so when I teach, kind of the big thing for me is whatever like the student wants is what I do. So I'll give you an example. So I have, for example, in my city, I have a French student. He's I think in, what is he going into? He's 16 now, I think, 16, 17, something like that. And all he really wants to do is just drill grammar. He wants to sit there, he wants to write grammar because he wants to pass his classes in school. It's all he really wants. I don't think he has a particular love for the language, it's kind of a necessity of his program. I have other students who say, yeah, I really don't care a ton about writing, I want to speak. I go, okay, great. I have a student who works in fertility and he wants specific vocabulary related to fertility, so we do that. Like, whatever the student wants, I'll say, okay, great, you're paying me, so whatever they want, I do. That could work. The other thing that could work as well, this is something to think about, is if you're just, because you're taking Spanish just because you said that you took it in high school, you took some classes at UBC, so you just don't want it to go to nothing. Is that right? The other way you could do it that just takes pressure off you is if you drop the class, but you just did tutoring anyway, and you just did a certain amount of tutoring, so you still get to improve your Spanish. You don't have the pressure of like, I need the GPA. Oh, and actually that made me think of something. The other option that you could do, you remind me of another student I have. What he started doing is he started taking French with me roughly, actually I have 2 students that did this. They started taking French, it was French, and they started taking it with me roughly, I can't remember the exact time, like something like 8 months or something before they actually took their class, so that when they got to the class, they already knew it. So basically it just became an easy mark. Like, so one of my students' school just started and he's aced all of his tests because he's like, oh yeah, this is all stuff we did before, it's so easy. That could be another option, but Today took a little bit of an unusual turn, for the better in my opinion. This morning, I had a student at 11 a.m., which is like every Wednesday, and he basically said, hey, can we move the lesson back? Which actually worked out in a way, because what happened was that we changed the lesson time, and that actually allowed me to have the entire morning to do other things, and there was other work that I should have been doing, but to be perfectly honest, I decided that, you know what, this was I told you guys in the vlog yesterday that today was going to be a huge monster day, and I decided, you know what, it's still going to be a big day, but I'm going to make it a little bit less big because I kind of want some time to myself. So basically till about 1 p.m. all I really did was a little bit of work in the morning. I had a call with a potential new student, and so I had that call, did all that and everything, but also just kind of read a book, chilled out, laid on the couch. But basically 1 p.m. to call it 1:15 all the way till about 11:30 midnight today is going to be back-to-back work. So for example, right now I'm heading off. It's just before 2:30. I gotta really hurry up because I think I may be slightly late for my lesson. Probably will be actually. But I'm gonna be teaching from 2:30 all the way until 9:30, 9:45, kind of somewhere in that range. Then I have my editing and all that stuff to do. But at any rate, it's been a pretty good day so far. Really happy kind of how things are trucking along.